Okay, so this is something a little bit different this time. I've actually got an actual real Commodore 64 and I can prove it. There we go. Yeah, so actual Commodore 64, it's a 64C, so it has got a 6502 in it, but it's not called the 6502, it's called the 8502 or something like that. So I thought I'd bust this out and then we'd see if we can verify any of the things that we were confused about in the documentation when we were actually making the emulator. And I've actually got, the reason I can do this is because it's actually on cassette, but I've got this Assembler 64. Now I'm pretty sure I've never used this. I don't know where this came from. I've probably never loaded it and it might not actually work for all I know. But it claims that it's got microscopic text inside. But I mean, it's nearly impossible to read. It's unbelievably small. But it actually says, if you're already familiar with 6502 assembly language, then this will allow you to write machine code. Okay. And it gives you a little example. I've never used it before, so I don't know. There's the tape. There's not much tape on it. I wouldn't expect that it to be really complicated. And there's a good chance this won't even work. So rewind your tape and press play. And let's actually see if this works at all. I don't know. And in the meantime, while this is loading, this is what you'd do. You'd read what's on the inlay, but you need a magnifying glass to see this. It's ridiculous. I mean, they had to compact it onto one page. It says, if you're not familiar with assembly, we suggest you read one of these standard reference books on 6502 programming the 6502 ZAX. Yeah, this is by a guy called I.Gray, by the way. There he is, I.Gray. Don't know who you are, but there you go. Oh, look at that. It's doing something. So this might actually work. I don't know. Load and run the assembly by holding down shift and pressing run stop. I did that. When the program is loaded and run, stop the tape deck. Awesome. What else does it say? Assembler 64 uses the standard 6502 mnemonics. Oh, that's good because that's what we've emulated. With only one difference. Oh, semicolons must always be used in place of commas. Oh, God. Otherwise, there will be an input error. Given a line number, allowing lines to be edited, listed, deleted, and inserted, just like BASIC. Oh, that's weird. So you kind of, I don't know if you can even get this on the camera. It's so small. It's on here, but you write this like BASIC. Oh my God. Right. Was that it? That was very quick. Did the tape stop? There we go. So it looks terrible on here, by the way, because I've got a composite output. So how the hell do I use this then? So it says Assembler 64 makes full use of the 64 screen editing capabilities. Excellent. Each mnemonic is given a line number, allowing lines to be edited, listed, deleted, and inserted. Okay, just like BASIC. This is weird. Line numbers are also used in all branch and jump instructions. Oh, so it's not really like, it's a weird assembly language, this. And it gives a little example. Example of program jumps using line numbers are shown using 150. Right. So I think what it's telling me is, let's just see if I can do. Oh, it's weird. It's not like what I'd expect. So it reckons I can do a line number and I can do LDA, and it's got an example here of equals 1. Is that immediate? So I think that's like load 1 into the accumulator. So you press enter and that's in there, and I can list that like it's a basic program. Yep, there it is, line 100, LDA equals 1. And then I can store accumulator. Oh, so you can actually create variables as well. So I can say, let's say line 50, I can create a variable and assign it to something. This is weird. This is not what I was expecting. And then I can load that. So I can do, go to 110, I can do store accumulator with my variable, and instead of a comma, I don't know. It's got a comma and an X is like X offset. Don't know, maybe I can do that. So that will store 100 into the accumulator. Load the accumulator with 1 and store 100 into the accumulator. Can I? Do you actually just run this like a normal program? What the hell is this all about? No. What do you do? I assume you have to assemble this. If the go is what? Example program jumps included using line was shown in 150. If the go is not included, then a jump to an absolute memory address will be assumed. That doesn't make any sense to me. What's the go? Go. Use the labels. The use of labels in 100, 110, 170 must always consist of 2 letters. Okay, so it's saying that variable had to have at least, must always consist of 2 letters and may be used as numeric substitutes. What? This was not what I was expecting. It's got that var thing. It says it's right. It says I can only use 2 though. I can't use 3, which is up here. This thing here. It's saying var. It's saying they can only be 2 letters. That's odd. Simple addition with labels is possible. Oh god, this isn't assembly language at all. I don't know what this is. I was not expecting this at all. Type assemble. Oh, followed immediately by a starting location. Default is 49152. Code is always assembled at that location. Oh right, okay. Assemble. Avengers assemble. Let's do it. Wow. Illegal mnemonic in 50. Okay, so it really does have to be 2 letters. So let's call it VA equals 100. Assemble. Wow. Oh, it's getting a bit further. Oh, is this going to work? Assembly complete. Cool. This actually might be quite useful. I don't know. So I've assembled it now. I'm glad they put the instructions in, otherwise I'd be screwed. Assemble followed immediately by location. Default is 49152. It says, oh yeah, starting from 49152 to 49156. So the program's in memory right now. Code is always assembled, but may, as explained, be constructed elsewhere in RAM. Assembly may be aborted with run stop at any point. Oh, assembly 64 works all times in base 10. However, 2 commands exist to work in base 16. So it's just base 10 to start with. Okay. And oh, we can save to disk with this as well. Now that's the other thing. I do actually have a disk drive. So if this gets a bit complicated, we could save it to disk, but maybe we don't have to bother. You do D save, loading and saving, load test, save test, D load test, D save test. That's weird. Assuming that you're saving the program test or something. List outputs to screen. L list outputs to the printer. Do not use spaces in assembler 64 instructions. Any spaces needed will be inserted automatically. Any others will confuse the program. I put some spaces in. Didn't I? Let's take that one out. Oh, hang on a minute. That. Oh, didn't like that. Yeah, okay. What's to be confused about here? No, just put it back in anyway. Well, it didn't seem that confused by it. So let's see then. I'm going to move slightly away from the microphone because the computer's in a funny place. Well, I'm quite glad it loaded. So given these instructions that I've now got to remember because this is not what I was expecting, can we actually run this program? And I think you run a machine code program on the C64 by just saying sys1, well, sys and then the address that you want to run from. So that'll just run the code that's there. Except maybe, I think maybe I should put an RTS. I don't know if how this is going to work. I think I might just crash it. I think I might have to try this. I think this is just going to execute these 3 instructions and then run off into funny memory and then just start executing crap and then crash. 49152, because I think when you do this sys, it does a jump to subroutine and you're expected to RTS at the end. Let's just run it and just see if I crash the computer. Could happen. Oh, except that's not what I can do. So, really? I thought sys was the way you run. I thought that was the way you ran a machine code program on C64, unless this assembler's disabled it. It's not sys? Yeah, so this is not really that clear on how you actually run the program. Is it run? Because normally you'd do this sys and then you'd say the address of the machine code program you want to run. That's how you do it in BASIC anyway, but this might have unloaded the BASIC ROM for all I know. It might not, it might just be doing something else, but it's not run. Is it that go? It mentioned go. No. Maybe you can't, this is a bit weird. So you can assemble in here, but you can't actually run anything? Is that actually, type assemble, followed immediately by the starting location. Code is always assembled, but may, as be explained, be constructed run elsewhere. And then it goes on about base conversion. You list to list it, which is what it says. We've already done that. That's cool. Yeah, you can do everything but run it. For any reason you happen to break out of the program, run stop works normally for stopping, listing, and assembly, but accidents do happen. You can re-enter without damage to data by go to 200. God, that makes no sense. So yeah, I don't know, it's great this, but I don't know how to run the program. I mean, there's really no way of knowing unless it'll tell me. I mean, can you just do, is it like go 50? Because that's like what the way it lists it. No, so that's a syntax error. I mean, so you could save this to disk and then you could reload it with the actual basic ROM later on, but at the moment there is actually no way. Damn, I'd just like to be able to run this and then I could write a little program that could test some stuff, but what the devil is this all about? This is like super not helpful. I doubt I'll find anything about this on the internet. This assembler 64 by Interceptor software, probably not the most popular thing in the world. Type assemble followed by the starting location. Code is assembled at this location, but may, as explained, be constructed to run elsewhere in RAM. Assembly may be aborted with run stop at any point. But that you can't run it, and sys doesn't work here, which is rubbish. This just means I'll have to reset the computer. I'll have to save it to disk and reset the computer to actually try this out, which means this is going to take absolutely forever if I actually want to do anything with it. You must be able to run this because it's in memory, so why wouldn't I be able to run the program? I mean, I think I need an RTS there. Whoops. RTS. I think that's what I need. Assemble. Does it actually tell? Maybe there's a help command. Don't know. Assembling. Yep. Come on. Right. So it took that extra instruction. Is there a help? No. There's no run. No. Go. That's not a command. Sys doesn't work because this isn't basic. This is like they've written their own. They might have disabled the basic ROM here. If that's the case, that's why sys doesn't work, because I think sys is a basic command. I don't know of any way to run this. So this would have to be saved to disk. It's in RAM at this 49152, and I can't run it. that's really quite annoying. So the best I could do is like try and write a program that could test something that I wanted to know. So, I mean, it could be worth doing that, but it'd be really nice to do it without actually having to reload the computer. So what I wanted to do really was test that what happened to the processor status after we did PHP. Because, yeah, it was really to test out what was going on here when it was talking about this, like when you do PHP. Oh, sorry, two instructions, PLP and RTI, pull a byte from the stack, set all the flags, they ignore bits 4 and 5. Now, if you could write a little machine code program, we could actually find out what it did rather than just guessing. And right now we're just guessing. But I'd have to do it. I'd have to do it by writing this, assembling it, saving it, and running it and hope it works. Because I could run it and then I could push bytes into memory and then I could peek the bytes in BASIC. So it might be worth trying to do that, but this really, I mean, this might be really tedious, but maybe we'll have a go. Let's just see. So what we want to do for PHP, let's just see. So PLP pulls processor status, pulls an 8-bit value from the stack and into the processor flags. The flags will take on new states as determined by the pull value. So it just says everything's set from the stack, which is fine, but this is saying it's not. So in effect, what I could do is do a PHP, push processor status, and then a PLP. And what would that really show me? I mean, because if they ignored bits 4 and 5, they'd be the same anyway, which is the break bit and the unused flag. So I don't know if that would really tell me anything. I mean, we could push the processor status to the stack. We could verify that these 2 bits are set, which is one thing. We could do that. But then really I want to know what happens when you pull the bits off. What do you do with bits 4, 5 and 4? Yeah, I kind of feel like the program we really need is we break. That's the first line. We break. And then after the break, so we're in at this point, we need a NOP after the break. That's the other thing. Because the break takes this weird extra instruction. Oh no, break goes to the interrupt handler. So that would be the other problem, is like in this weird assembler, how do I even set the interrupt handler? And the answer is, I don't know. Because I can store an address in the interrupt handler, call the break instruction, it will go to the interrupt handler, and then I'd have to write code at that address. Is that even possible with this assembler? I wasn't expecting it to be like a basic program. I think the answer is I can't do it with this. I'm not sure that I can put something initially at a place, but I can't put it in an actual place in memory. I could set the interrupt location, I could break, and how do I put code at the interrupt location using this weird basic thing? Really need a proper assembler, like one that doesn't do this crazy stuff. I don't think there's any way to force, other than the initial program, I don't think there's any way to force a piece of the program to be at a specific point. I mean, there might be, but it's not in the instructions. I might even search for this. Interceptor software. Never going to find anything about this. Assembler 64. I bet nobody's used this program ever. Oh, believe it or not, there's actually a Wikimedia Commons picture. You know, I can believe this. I think years ago I did this. There's actually, this is what I found. There's actually a Wikimedia Commons picture, and it's actually my box, because I took the scan. I took a picture of this because there was no pictures of this on the internet, and you can see it's got the same like scuff marks and crap all over it. That's pretty funny, actually. That is pretty funny. Oh, this is weird. Someone's saying, I'm looking for the tool Assembler 64 by Interceptor software. Hey, I've got it. It's on cassette. I'm looking to pay a good price for this title if someone has it. It's a gaping hole in what is to be a complete Interceptor. Oh, right. I had it and sold it. Oh, there you go. Look, people had it. I also had it. Here is a tap of the original. Yeah, there's a little copy of this online. Yeah, that's really funny. Someone's actually looking for this. That is crazy. Well, I'm not looking for it because I can't use it because there's no instructions for it. That's really terrible. Damn. Oh, wow. This is unbelievable. Someone's actually... The person who actually posting that was actually looking for, and they posted a picture of my box. There you go. I think they didn't know this existed until I put the picture online. I might be the only person who's ever got this. That's really funny. That was in 2017 as well. Unbelievable. I'd really like someone to tell me how to use it. That'd be great. Is there a way? Is there anything I could do with this? Oh well. I tried, and I'm afraid I failed. If I could get an actual cartridge or something that could actually assemble stuff on the 64, or I had a way of transferring something I assembled on the PC onto the 64, I think I'd be able to do this. But right now, can't do it. Sorry, Assembler 64. You have not been any use to me at all. And if I can think of some use, I would do it. But at the moment, I'm getting nothing.